All right, I had a feeling this would not go down well, especially for those protesting on behalf of NFL players who don't like the new rules in effect that if you want to protest the national anthem, stay in the locker room, stay in the clubhouse, but don't be doing any kneeling outside during that big event. Let's go to former NFL player Jack Brewer, played for the Minnesota Vikings, New York Giants, Philadelphia Eagles, Arizona Cardinals. You do not mess with this guy. All right, Jack, what do you think of all this and the furor it's creating among some players?
You know, it's unfortunate, Neil, because I think the message is continuing to be lost. We spoke about this before. The National Football League, you know, particularly the players, you know, should be commended. I mean, think about it. There's no other private business, no other corporation in America that has done more to advocate for all the injustices that are happening to so many underserved African-American men around this country. I mean, the National Football League has put millions of dollars behind the efforts of its employees. What other company has done that? At the end of the day, the players have to realize, the public has to realize, these guys are at work. When I played in the National Football League, I was at work. There is no job in America that you can go into and protest your political views in the middle of your job. I mean, if we want to protest, let's go to Capitol Hill. We have voices. We have millions of Twitter and social media followers. We can talk about these issues and actually go find real solutions without threatening the league. This league has made so many millionaires, African-American men, who have made millions of dollars and been able to go in and change their families, change their communities. Why we want to hurt that? Why hurt that? I mean, the league has lost 25, 30%. Ratings are down. Money's being lost. Why would you want to kill the golden goose? I don't get it.
You know, the Golden State Warriors coach Steve Kerr commented on this, said of the NFL that they're just playing to their fan base and they're just basically trying to use the anthem as fake patriotism, nationalism, and they're scaring people. It's idiotic, he said. What do you think of that?
I think he's totally misguided. You know, it's really ironic, Neil. You know, he makes a comment like that, but the NBA and their players' protest has not cost the league a dime. You don't see their guys going out in the middle of the court kneeling. You know, their viewership is not down, it's actually rising. And so, you know, for him to say that, I mean, you're comparing apples to oranges there. I got a lot of respect for Steve Kerr, tremendous amount of respect. And, you know, the sad thing about all of this, right, you know, people can argue and we can disagree, but at the end of the day, most decent Americans, most of us who are fighting this good fight, I go out in these schools and I advocate in the community. We all want the same result. We just have a different way of going about doing it. We need to come together and put our focus on actually going into these communities, helping these young black men, reestablishing discipline in our schools, instead of showing these kids that we can protest against our job and disobey, you know, the rule of law. Let's teach kids about law and order again. You know, we have a lot of crisis going on in our country, and it starts, you know, at home. It starts with parenting, but you can't do that when everything that happens around you, you want to go against the rule of law. Every job in America, and people, you know, at your homes watching this show right now, think about it. Can you go into your workplace right now and start protesting your political views? No, you'll get fired. Neil, I don't know what happened with you at Fox, but I know at the jobs that I've had, if I go in and start protesting my political views, they'll kick me out of the place. So let's be realistic about this whole debate.
Well, they get mad at me for breaking into the vending machines, but, Jack, that's just a separate issue. But I did want to ask you about what happens to the players who try to find a way around this. And one idea that's been mentioned, Jack, all right, we won't do the kneeling thing. We'll either do the raised fist thing or we'll hold arms thing or something that won't be as obvious, but you know what they're doing. What do owners do in that event? What does the NFL do in that event?
Well, you know, the NFL is giving the guys a choice, right? The NFL is not forcing players to stand for the anthem. If you don't want to stand for the anthem, stay in the locker room. When I played in the National Football League, we didn't even come out for the national anthem. But, you know, if guys want to raise their fist,
you're right. That's
I'll raise
a fairly
my fist.
recent thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the last 7 or so years, yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't always been there. If you want to raise your fist in unity, because we need to get the voices out, right? We need to stand up for those that are voiceless, and we need to continue to do that, but there's a time and a place for it. And last year, you know, I was all for the players kneeling if they wanted to. It was their choice, right? But the rules were not in place. Now the rules are in place. When you got to abide by the rules first, right? Rule of law should be what, you know, is really overseeing it all. And I think, you know, hopefully these guys will all calm calm down and understand that they do have a huge asset here, and it's called the National Football League. And the National Football League is good for black people. And the National Football League is making a lot of black millionaires who can take those resources into the community and actually find solutions for these crazy problems. You know, and let's get the messaging back right.
That's Jack Brewer speaking his mind. I always knew he was a very good athlete. He seems like a pretty good, decent human being as well. So we'll keep an eye on that. Again, more protests are planned this weekend and throughout next week.